Welcome back to Path of Glory. Today, we're going to map out something extraordinary, the complete blueprint to mastering English confidence in just 90 days. Not just fluency, confidence. The kind of natural, unshakable presence that lets you walk into any meeting, any interview, any conversation, and speak like you belong there.
Exactly, because fluency without confidence is like having a car with no fuel. You might have all the vocabulary, the grammar, the academic knowledge, but when the moment comes to speak, your mind freezes, your words stumble, and your message loses power. This entire system is designed to change that.
And it starts right here, in Phase 1, Mindset Engineering. The first 30 days are about building the psychological foundation. Before skill, before speed, before performance, it's about belief, clarity, and emotional structure.
Right. Confidence in English is not just about language mechanics. It's a mental operating system. You have to reprogram how you think about English, how you see yourself using it, and how you respond when pressure hits.
We've worked with thousands of professionals, students, and entrepreneurs who had all the potential in the world, but their inner voice was sabotaging their performance. So in this phase, we're going to rebuild that inner voice strategically.
Let's start with Principle 1, identity shaping. If your self-image is still someone learning English, you'll always communicate from a place of hesitation. You must shift your identity from learner to user.
Exactly. For the next 30 days, stop saying, "I'm learning English." Replace it with, "I use English to express ideas." That one mental substitution reframes your relationship with the language. It's not a subject anymore. It's a tool you already operate.
And here's the science behind that. In psychology, it's called self-attribution conditioning. The words you use about yourself are instructions to your subconscious. If you keep telling your brain, "I'm learning," it keeps you in the mindset of deficiency, always chasing. But when you say, "I use English," your brain starts normalizing the act of using it as identity behavior.
So, task number 1 for this phase. Every time you write an email, speak in a meeting, or even think about English, attach that new identity to it. I am an English communicator. Not a student, not a beginner, a communicator.
Principle 2, detachment from perfection. This is one of the most damaging barriers we see in ambitious learners. You think confidence means perfect grammar, flawless accent, and instant recall of every word. It doesn't.
True confidence comes from psychological safety, the acceptance that mistakes don't define your ability. In fact, the people who grow the fastest are the ones who make the most mistakes in the open.
Because every mistake is simply data. It's your brain adjusting parameters. When you attach emotion, shame, frustration, you block learning. But when you treat it like feedback, you accelerate mastery.
Here's an exercise. For the next 30 days, keep a confidence calibration log. Every time you make an English mistake, mispronounce, forget a word, use the wrong tense, don't hide it. Write it down, and then immediately write the correct form next to it. No judgment, just correction.
That single habit rewires your brain's association with error. Instead of fear, you create feedback familiarity. The more you practice that detachment, the less emotional charge you attach to imperfection. That's the foundation of real composure.
Now, Principle 3, cognitive priming. This is about training your mind to expect English success before you even start your day. Think of it like mental warm-up for your linguistic muscles.
Each morning, before checking your phone or diving into work, take just 3 minutes. Close your eyes and visualize yourself speaking English fluently in the exact context that matters to you. Maybe you're delivering a presentation, acing a job interview, or discussing a deal with confidence and clarity.
Feel the tone of your voice. See the expressions of the people listening, impressed, engaged, respecting you. This mental rehearsal activates the same neural pathways that real practice does. Studies in cognitive neuroscience show that visualization can enhance real performance by up to 45%.
You're literally rewiring your confidence network. So 3 minutes a day, that's your new morning ritual.
Now, Principle 4, language desensitization. Many people freeze because English feels like an event, something special, something pressured. We have to make it normal.
Exactly. Think exposure therapy. The more you hear, read, and think in English without the expectation to perform, the less anxiety your brain attaches to it.
For these first 30 days, flood your environment with English, passively and constantly. Change your phone settings to English, listen to English podcasts while you cook, follow English-speaking creators in your field. The goal isn't comprehension, it's exposure saturation.
You're teaching your subconscious that English isn't a foreign signal anymore. It's background music. Once it becomes normal, confidence stops being a performance and becomes a default state.
Now, Principle 5, purpose anchoring. Confidence grows fastest when your goal has emotional gravity. Why do you want English confidence? Be specific. Is it for a promotion, a new career path, freedom to move abroad?
Write that reason down, physically. Then every night before you sleep, read it out loud. You're reminding your brain why the effort matters. Motivation fades, but anchored purpose endures.
Exactly. Every confident communicator has a clear why. Without it, study becomes a chore. With it, study becomes mission fuel.
Principle 6, micro wins reinforcement. One of the biggest mistakes learners make is ignoring progress because it doesn't feel massive. But confidence compounds through micro achievements.
Right. If today you understood one new idiom without translation, celebrate it. If you spoke for 2 minutes without hesitation, that's a victory. Tiny wins feed self-efficacy. The more you notice them, the faster confidence becomes your emotional habit.
So at the end of each day, write down one micro win. It could be anything: completing a listening session, learning a synonym, joining a short conversation. You're not just logging progress, you're training your brain to recognize success signals.
Now, Principle 7, reframing comparison. This one's crucial. Too many learners compare themselves to native speakers or influencers online, and it kills their self-belief.
Confidence doesn't come from being better than others. It comes from being better than yesterday. The only valid benchmark is your previous self.
Exactly. Comparison should inspire, not paralyze. If you see someone speaking beautifully, instead of thinking, "I'll never sound like that," think, "That's what's possible for me too." That mindset shift turns envy into energy.
Principle 8, confidence conditioning loop. Every emotion has a physical counterpart. Confidence isn't just mental, it's physiological. If your body language says fear, your brain listens.
So, posture check. Shoulders open, breathing steady, chin slightly raised. Before any English conversation, do a 30-second confidence reset. It sends a neural signal of control.
And when you speak, lower your tone slightly, slow down, and enunciate clearly. People interpret slower speech as authority. You'll sound more composed, and that perception feeds back into real confidence.
By the end of these 30 days, if you've practiced these 8 principles daily, you'll have built a mental operating system for confidence. You won't feel the same hesitation because your identity, focus, and environment will all be aligned with self-assurance.
And remember, this phase is not about technical improvement. It's about emotional architecture. You're building the inner structure that supports everything else.
Because without an internal foundation, no amount of practice, vocabulary, or technique can sustain confidence under pressure.
Exactly. Once you've spent these 30 days engineering your mindset, you'll be ready to activate the next stage, where skill meets strategy.
Now that the foundation is solid, it's time to move into activation, turning that confident mindset into daily, visible skill. These next 30 days are all about implementation, the phase where understanding transforms into effortless action.
Exactly, because real confidence doesn't come from knowing you could speak well, it comes from proving it to yourself again and again. The more real interactions you have, the more your brain upgrades English from theory to instinct.
We call this process skill activation because every ability you've built so far, listening, vocabulary, structure, now needs deliberate, strategic use. This is where we translate potential into performance.
Let's start with Activation Principle 1, the 1-hour performance window. For the next 30 days, you'll dedicate a single hour each day to active English use. Not study, not reading, but performance practice.
Here's how it works. Break that hour into 4 15-minute blocks: listening, speaking,
writing, and review. Each block targets a different muscle, so you create balanced progress every single day.
For example, the listening block might be a business podcast or an interview in your field. The speaking block, record yourself summarizing what you just heard. The writing block, craft a short reflection or LinkedIn post in English. The review block, replay your recording and note 2 things you did well and 1 thing to improve.
That daily performance window is where fluency starts to feel real. You're training transfer speed, the ability to move information from input to output rapidly. That's what separates fluent speakers from learners.
Now, activation principle 2, shadowing mastery. This is one of the most powerful fluency accelerators ever developed. It's the technique used by interpreters, diplomats, and elite language learners worldwide.
You simply listen to a native speaker and repeat simultaneously, just a half second behind their voice. It forces your brain to synchronize pronunciation, rhythm, and natural phrasing all at once.
But here's the catch. Don't start with fast dialogue. Begin with moderate speed podcasts or educational videos where the articulation is clear. Shadow for 5 minutes a day in week 1, then gradually increase to 15 minutes by week 4.
You'll notice a fascinating effect. Your hesitation disappears because your mouth learns to move faster than your doubts. Shadowing literally retrains your speaking reflex.
Now, activation principle 3, targeted speaking cycles. Most learners waste energy trying to talk about random topics. Confidence grows faster when you master specific conversation zones that matter to your life.
Pick 3 professional or academic domains you actually need. For instance, project meetings, presentations, and interviews. Build short 2-minute scripts for each. Memorize them, rehearse them, record them. Then challenge yourself to deliver those scripts without notes.
Once those zones become automatic, expand into new ones. Negotiation, small talk, brainstorming, social interaction. You're gradually covering the full map of real-world communication.
Activation principle 4, in listening intensification. In phase 1, we focused on exposure. Now it's about precision listening. The goal is to decode how native speakers construct meaning in real time.
Each day, choose one 5-minute audio segment, a TED Talk, a company keynote, a podcast. Listen 3 times. First for general meaning, second for structure, third for nuance, how stress, tone, and rhythm change intent.
Write down 5 phrases or collocations you hear repeated often, not isolated words, phrases. Then use them in your next speaking block. That transfer from comprehension to usage solidifies vocabulary naturally.
And here's the trick. Read your writing aloud. Your ear catches awkward phrasing your eyes miss. Over time, you'll develop what we call linguistic intuition, knowing what sounds right without rules.
Activation principle 6, fluency conditioning through feedback. Feedback is the oxygen of improvement, but not all feedback is equal. Passive correction rarely changes behavior.
You need deliberate reflection. After each speaking or writing session, ask yourself 3 questions. What felt natural? What felt forced? And what will I change next time? That self-analysis transforms feedback into growth data.
If possible, record yourself once a week delivering a 1-minute talk about any topic you like. Compare week 1 and week 4. That visual progress is an instant confidence booster.
Now, activation principle 7, cognitive load reduction. The brain has limited working memory. When you speak, if you're thinking about grammar, vocabulary, and structure simultaneously, your fluency will stall.
So, isolate variables. On Monday, focus only on clarity. Tuesday, only on speed. Wednesday, only on accuracy. By the end of the week, combine all 3. This progressive overload approach is the secret behind effortless fluency.
Exactly like athletic training. You're teaching different parts of the linguistic muscle separately before combining them into unified performance.
Activation principle number 8, emotional simulation practice. Real conversations carry emotion, surprise, humor, disagreement, enthusiasm. Practicing monotone sentences won't prepare you for that.
You need to condition emotional adaptability. You'll stop freezing when situations deviate from scripts because you've already rehearsed the emotional range.
Activation principle number 9, micro-immersion days. Pick one day a week where you commit to using English exclusively. Texts, notes, thoughts, everything.
At first, it will feel uncomfortable, but that's the point. You're creating temporary immersion environments that compress growth. The brain learns fastest under controlled pressure.
By week 8, you'll notice something remarkable. English starts to appear in your internal monologue automatically. That's the sign that confidence is embedding deeply.
Activation principle 10, synergy tracking. All these methods work best when you can see the connection between them. Keep a single notebook or digital file where you record daily inputs, listening time, speaking minutes, writing tasks. Every Sunday, review your data. Don't just check hours, check energy levels. Which activities made you feel most confident? Which drained you? That insight helps you design a personalized fluency ecosystem for Phase 3.
Remember, the goal of Phase 2 is momentum. Consistency now turns confidence into skill memory. You're transforming English from an activity into a habit loop.
By day 60, you should feel tangible change. Smoother speech, clearer thought flow, faster recall. You'll start forgetting that you're even using English. You're just communicating.
Exactly. And that shift from conscious effort to natural execution is the definition of fluency. But there's one more stage ahead, the phase where skill becomes presence, where confidence turns into leadership. By now, you've done the hard work. You've built the mindset, activated the skills, and created momentum. But the last 30 days, this final phase, are where everything fuses together. This is where confidence becomes identity.
Exactly. Think of this as the mastery stage. Not about adding new information, but about integration. You're refining, polishing, and projecting the confidence you've built until it becomes who you are, not just what you do.
Confidence mastery has 3 pillars: presence, precision, and projection. Presence is how you show up. Precision is how accurately you express thought. Projection is how your energy influences others.
Let's start with Mastery Principle 1, presence calibration. Confidence begins before you say a single word. The way you enter a room, greet someone on a call, or even open a video meeting sets the psychological tone.
So every interaction in English from now on, treat it as presence training. Keep your voice measured, your posture open, your expression engaged. When you project calm authority, people perceive fluency even before hearing your sentences.
That perception reinforces your inner state. The loop continues. You feel confident because you look confident, and you look confident because you feel it.
Mastery Principle 2, precision through clarity. Advanced speakers often try to sound sophisticated by using overly complex phrases. True mastery is simplicity with impact.
Exactly. Your goal is clarity, not complication. Use strong verbs and direct structure. Instead of, it might perhaps be considered beneficial, say, it's beneficial. Shorter, sharper, stronger.
Practice a daily clarity challenge. Take any sentence you wrote or said today and shorten it by half without losing meaning. That exercise trains linguistic precision, the mark of confident professionals.
Mastery Principle 3, emotional control. By now, you can speak smoothly, but pressure situations still test composure. Meetings, presentations, interviews. Confidence mastery means emotional regulation under linguistic stress.
Before any high-stakes moment, run a quick 3-step reset. Breathe deeply for 5 seconds, drop your shoulders, visualize success. That physiological calm keeps your speech measured and your thoughts clear.
And if nerves strike mid-conversation, slow your tempo by 10%. Silence feels longer to you than to your listener. Controlled pauses project authority.
Mastery Principle 4, intentional listening. Great communicators listen as strategically as they speak. Confidence isn't dominating talk time, it's guiding flow.
Use the 2-beat rule. When someone finishes speaking, wait 2 beats before responding. It signals composure and gives your brain space to craft precise replies.
You'll notice people start respecting your words more. Calm timing communicates leadership.
Mastery Principle 5. Story command. Humans think in stories. If you can structure information as narrative, your confidence instantly multiplies.
Pick 3 personal stories, a challenge, a success, a learning moment, and polish them in English. Know them by heart. These become your anchor stories for interviews, presentations, or networking.
Each time you tell them, emphasize progression. Problem to action to result to lesson. That clear arc projects confidence through coherence.
Mastery Principle 6. Leadership language. At this stage, English isn't just for participation, it's for influence. Start adopting language patterns that leaders use. Alignment phrases like, "Here's what we can do," or synthesis lines like, "To summarize what we've discussed."
Those linguistic cues show control of dialogue. They make your English presence feel organized and decisive.
Practice weaving such cues into everyday talk until they sound natural. You'll notice colleagues begin to look to you for closure or direction. That's leadership confidence emerging.
Mastery Principle 7. Adaptive authenticity. The goal is not to sound like someone else. It's to sound like you at your best consistently.
Exactly. Don't mimic accents or force expressions that don't align with your personality. Authentic tone creates trust. Confidence without authenticity feels mechanical. Authenticity without structure feels chaotic. You want both.
So, record yourself in different contexts. Friendly chat, professional update, technical explanation. Compare. Which version sounds most natural and engaging? That's your authentic baseline.
Mastery Principle 8. Advanced feedback integration. At this level, external feedback becomes refinement fuel, not correction. Ask mentors, colleagues, or native speaking peers for microfeedback on delivery, not grammar.
Questions like, did my point feel clear? Or how did my tone come across? Help you calibrate perception. That's what confidence mastery is about.
Apply one micro improvement each week. Small, deliberate tweaks accumulate into elite polish.
Mastery Principle 9. Self-review ritual. Every 7 days, record a 2-minute reflection describing your progress. Play back the first recording from phase 1 and compare. The difference will shock you.
That auditory evidence locks in belief. When you hear your transformation, the brain cements the new identity permanently.
Mastery Principle 10. The confidence cycle. On day 90, your goal is sustainability. Confidence isn't a finish line, it's a feedback loop. Use English, gain results, feel empowered, use more English.
So schedule recurring exposure, daily input, weekly output, monthly reflection. The cycle keeps the momentum alive long after these 90 days.
And remember, mastery doesn't mean perfection, it means permanence. Confidence that endures regardless of circumstance.
Exactly. After 90 days, you won't just speak English confidently, you'll live confidently through English. It will have become part of your professional DNA.
That's the real destination of this journey. Empowerment, opportunity, and global connection.
So take a moment right now to acknowledge how far you've come. From hesitation to articulation, from fear to fluency, from learning to leading.
This isn't just language progress, it's personal evolution. You engineered your mindset, activated your skill, and mastered your confidence, step by step.
And wherever you go next, carry that system with you, because the ability to express yourself clearly and confidently is the most powerful advantage in any field, any language, any life path.
This has been the complete blueprint to mastering English confidence in 90 days.
You've been listening on Path of Glory, where ambition meets transformation.
Keep speaking boldly, keep learning strategically, and keep walking your path of glory.
Until next time.